Shoot my Sanlida compound bow, and I'll talk about that in a second. But I like to come out, climb up on my bow stand, and take some shots and practice where I plan on shooting. And all my life, since I was a young guy, I started bow hunting years and years and years ago. When I bow hunt, this is a short range weapon. And when I've hunted my whole life, whether I hunt with a recurve, a compound, or a crossbow, I don't shoot past 20 yards. And I set up for 15 yards. That way if I get 10 or 20, I'm just fine. And you know, right now, the industry standard, everything you see on all these YouTube channels is, you know, buy this bow, and the archery companies are trying to tell you and show you the archery heroes out there today that are shooting 50 to 100 yards and shooting deer. To me, that is so disrespectful of that deer. I mean, this is a short range weapon. And to do that, all it's for is to sell you more product. You know, say like you go out and you buy you $1,000 bow, and then you spend $300 or $400 on accessories, and the next thing you know, you got $1,400, $1,500 or more with tax. You got a lot of money in there. And archery is such a wonderful sport. You know, there's nothing wrong if you got the money and you want to spend all the money you want to spend, that's okay. But you don't have to. And a lot of people need to really stop and think about that. You know, I'd rather explain why I bought a $269 bow than try to explain or justify why I lost a deer, why I gut shot a deer or butt shot a deer and lost that deer. I'm gonna climb up on that 12-foot stand and practice shooting my Sanlida Dragon X9, and my shot's gonna be 15 yards. But I wanna show you something here. The only thing that I've done to this bow is I tied in the peep, I got cat whiskers on here, and a kisser button. And I mean, this thing shoots like a dream. I love it. It's so pretty. We've had so much rain this year. Yeah, I just bulldozed out this right away here maybe 2 months ago, and it's already growing back in. That's very unusual in this part of the world for everything to be growing in. It usually takes 2 or 3 to 4 years. This is all growing back in already. The beauty part about it is that all that new grass and forbs and bean shoots and little baby trees and all that stuff, I mean, it's perfect food for deer, red deer, and elk that we have. Man, it feels so good down in here. That today we have a northwest wind. August, a northwest wind. It was 68 degrees this morning. We're over here by Claire's gun stand, and she got a crossbow feeder up there on top of the hill. But this canyon right here, it's got these big old gigantic blackjack oaks in here. I cleaned it all up, and there's a lot of new forbs growing in here, and it stays dark and shady in here all day long. And you know, we have elk here, and those elk, I never knew it till I killed one first here, that their hide is so thick it's not even funny. I mean, when you shoot one in Texas, you gotta really hurry up and get him skinned. But they're so thick, they stay hot, and that's what keeps an elk from moving. But they come in this canyon, they come in here and feed. I don't know how many times I pulled in here, and it's dark shade in the middle of the day, and there's an elk in here. It just walks up that hill. There's some trails up there where it's real thick, and they'll just walk up there and run, just go up that hill right there. But it's so pretty back in here. I want to show you this. We're gonna head over to Claire's bow stand. She has a crossbow stand, a gun stand here, and then she has another bow stand over there. It's gonna be her compound bow. Boy,
they're all mine.
Yeah, actually they're all hers.
That's a joke.
I said, you want to hunt my stand? You go, well, what you mean your stand? They're all mine. She gets all the cards.
Yeah, that's my job.
Yes, that's her job right there. I'm kind of getting too old and lazy, but this stand, I mean, this camera right here is right on the fence. And I just noticed when we're driving up the fence, straight down this fence line, maybe 30, 40 feet, there's big bull elk tracks. Man, I sure hope it's on the camera this morning. They're fresh tracks, so maybe they'll be there. Those are those bull elk tracks that I hope they're right down here on this fence, right? It's not 40 feet, it's about 40 yards. But I hope it shows up on that camera. Hopefully, he looks like he's walking that direction. All right, she climbed down off that stand. like she said, she's 66 years old. She don't care if I told you that, which I didn't really think she cared anyway. But look up there. She climbs up there, and that's where she's going to hunt from and shoot from. That's where she's practicing from today. It's really a cool thing happened yesterday. We were in Kerrville, and we're eating, and this older lady walked up to us and started talking. And she was 91 years old, and she was still an attractive, beautiful lady. And the reason why she walked over to me is to tell me, she said, "Is that your wife?" And I said, "Yes, ma'am." She goes, "My Lord of mercy, how old are y'all?" I said, "Well, I'll be 72 in December," and she's 66. She goes, "Oh my God." She goes, "I'm 91. I go, "You're 91? And we got to talking, really a woman of faith. She believes in God and everything. And I mean, healthy. She told me, she said, I'm working on my master's degree right now. I go, "You're 91 years old and you're working on your master's?" And she said, "Yes." I said, "Man," I told Claire after whatever, I said, "I've been feeling sorry for myself. I said, man, I'll get too old to do this or too old to do that." And I see this beautiful one, and I'm telling you, she's beautiful. I could only imagine what she looked like when she was 66, just a young chick like Claire. But anyways, and we got to talking, and she, about, being older people and stuff like that. She goes, "You know what?" She goes, "I'm a meat eater." I said, "Are you really?" I said, "We are too." I said, "We eat mostly venison. All of my life, and ever since me and Claire have been married for 43 years, that's mostly the meat that she has eaten." Yep. And she goes, "I am a meat eater." She goes, "I almost don't eat anything but meat. I don't even eat vegetables with it." And she's 91 years old. So that just shows you right there. Get out there, get you a bow, get hunting, get you some good, fresh, healthy meat. Another thing with archery is something you can do in your backyard. You include your wife and your kids and everybody. And my wife and I have been hunting together 43 years. Claire's my best friend. She really is truly my best friend. Well, she's my only friend, but still she's my best friend. And you know what? When we're young, you're starting that family, whether you're young or old, when you first start out that family, or whether you get to be to the age of your life where they call you mama and papa, which I love that, your wife should always be your best friend. Because the kids grow up, and in this world today, they're getting so busy. I mean, good Lord, with everything they're into, football, play, or you just name it. I can't even name everything they're into. But they're very busy. Mom, dad's busy, kids are busy. But if you could just get the family and get everybody in that bow that can shoot a bow, you're big enough to pull one back, get them into archery, there's nothing wrong to buy a less expensive bow and to hunt or target practice with. And Claire's my best friend, and those kids grow up. Pretty soon your kids are married. Pretty soon they got kids, and then next thing you know, they don't have time. Your wife is still there with you, and your wife is gonna be your best friend for the rest of your life. So it's a good idea to make her your best friend your whole life. That way, if you don't have a place to hunt and you want to spend the money for hunting, if you get her involved into it, she'll go with you. That's how I got Claire. I thought, well, let me get her into hunting. I know my wife is a full-blood Cajun, and they love to fish. And she said she never really hunted growing up. They fished, and they mostly crabbed. Caught a lot of crab, had neighborhood crab boils. But I said, "Babe, you know what? If you got into hunting, I think you'd really like it much you like to fish." She said, "Well, I don't think I could shoot anything. I don't think I could kill anything." I said, "Well, there's nothing wrong with that. Let me get you, this is back a long time, so let me get you a gun, and let me teach you how to shoot and get you out there. If you like it, you like it. If not, you go with me and sit out there and look at them." So we did that. The first year, she killed the biggest buck that was ever killed in my family. And I mean, she's never stopped since then. My daughter hunts, all my nieces hunt. I mean, it's just a wonderful sport that you can do at home in your backyard. But here's the deal. Everybody, we all got these big egos today. So they say, well, rather than buy a sensible bow that you can afford, that will hunt, shoot, and do every single thing you want to do, with your pride and your ego, you feel like, well, let me just step up and get me a little more expensive bow. You can't buy accuracy. You can't. I mean, there's very few bows out there that are pure junk. This is not one of them. This should be on the list of top bows, this Sanlida Dragon X9 right here. But, so they figure, well, I don't want to go somewhere and somebody see me with a cheap bow. Who cares, man? If you're worried about that, or if you're worried about seeing all these superstars out there shooting 50 to 100 yards with archery equipment, then you probably should be shooting a muzzle loader or a 30-30 with iron sights, and then you could just tell people what a man you are. I guess I shouldn't say that, but that's all it boils down to. The truth of the matter is learn to shoot the bow, but the main thing is learn how to hunt with a bow, which is meant to be and is and always will be a primitive weapon. Take your shots at 10 to 20 yards, practice, and get good. But the main thing about that is there's a whole lot to bow hunting. Being quiet, drawing that arrow back quiet, knowing when to make that draw, everything. That is the thrill. I can't see the thrill. I don't think my heart be thumping if I'm shooting at a deer with a bow 100 yards away. My brain will be saying, I hope it don't miss. I hope it don't miss. I hope I don't shoot that sucker in the guts. But my heart's not going to be thumping and pumping. But when you got that deer or hog or whatever, elk, 10 to 15 yards from me, you think, man, I wonder if he can hear my heart beating. That is the excitement of bow hunting. That is the payoff, the thrill. And plus you use your own energy to draw back that bow and shoot that bow and take that food. But anyways, we're out here today. I'm just so lucky, so blessed to be able to be out here. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you will, please subscribe. I never ask people to subscribe, but I want you to subscribe if you will. If you like what you're seeing, watch my channel, please. Tell your friends about it and leave me a comment. And you might get the gist of this video after it comes out, but tell me why you have a brain too. Thank you and God bless you.